The Road to Recovery podcast, an SNJ Today presentation. Watch each week's TV program at snjtoday.com.
After nearly 8 years of drug addiction, Michael De Leon spent 12 years in prison and halfway houses for a gang-related homicide. Since his time in prison, he's dedicated his life to making the world a better place. He is the founder of Steered Straight, which guides young people away from the dangers of drugs and criminal activity. As a motivational speaker, he has spent thousands of hours talking to millions of young adults, and he has worked tirelessly to help people suffering find the road to recovery.
Welcome to the Road to Recovery. I'm Michael De Leon, your host, and today I'm very excited to share an incredible story, but an incredible mission. Brother Wolf for First Love Unbroken Incorporated.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much for joining us today. I appreciate your time and your vulnerability and sharing your past and your story. But because of who you were, it's made you who you are, and because of who you are, you're helping other people discover who they really are and who we all really are, right? So what's kind of your background or where this all started, or why you're doing what you're doing?
Man, I usually start out with a broad question. I love that. How did this all start? Man, well, right now I'm 51 years old. I didn't start using drugs when I was 12, but I did start around 16, 17. I had my first child when I was 17.
Okay.
Tasia. And I think she may have been just only 1 year old at that time. Got into a confrontation with her mother. And it bothered me so much. This is crazy. Bothered me so much that I needed something to bring me down. I was so hyper. I was just like, oh, I'm so angry. Now, I knew my friends used to get high, but I didn't. They would have me around as security. I was the guy to make sure they got home. I was the guy to make sure if a fight broke out, blah, blah, blah. But here it is. I'm like, I need something. And I remember going upstairs and talking to my buddy, and was like, I know you guys get high because you come out of the room and you're all comfortable and you're in there laughing. I need something right now. This is what's going on with me, Wow. So I started myself. Freebase. First time, boom, I was hooked and off to the races. Of course, you got the weed, alcohol, and things like that came progressively later. But that, I just took off running from there, And I can honestly say I did not have a lucid thought for a long time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was manageable, a functioning addict on a lot of bases. So I got a chance to, and this is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, back in the 80s, buddy. So cocaine was like everywhere.
Miami Vice.
Come on, man. Miami Vice was, that was like the tip of the iceberg. So, I did a lot of stuff, a lot of dirt down there. Ended up having to leave Florida and coming up to Philadelphia. And this is something I love telling people, and I think we already know this, but we try to change locations so we're better. But the problem is, wherever you change your location, you end up going there. So
the geographical location change, and you bring you with you.
Yeah, if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you go along. And that's what I did. So I left from there and went to Philadelphia.
And in many ways, that's like jumping from the fire, a pot into the fire.
Oh my God, it was, not good. Went to South Philly.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in South Philly, and I'm just doing weed because I don't know where any good coke is at up there. So I don't know where any freebase is at. See, everything South was freebase. It was already made. So I had to learn a whole new genre when I came up to Philly. So now I'm learning how to do all of this stuff, finding all the connections. The next thing you know, I'm off to the races again, which spanned for years. I'm going to tell you this part, which I think is a crucial part in my transformation. During that time, I really felt like I was Teflon. I didn't know what Teflon was, but I felt like I was untouchable. So everything that I did, I really didn't get in trouble for. You know what I mean? God's hand was on me.
Right.
And I didn't realize that.
So no consequences.
No consequences, dude. I'm just, I sleep or maybe, out of money or whatever, but I'm going to go to work the next day. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do what I got to do, blah, blah, blah. Relationships, who care? You get another one, But I remember being on the outs, sleeping on my mom's floor. And I went to go to the store for her. And that was back in the day we had the food stamps. The actual food stamps that looked like money. So I took $50, took the $50 food stamp from her, and went, because you could trade it in and get half off. I mean, you get 25 back. So I did that when you could go get high. And I remember coming back and seeing my mom walking up the block with a belt in her hand. I'm in my 20s, man. I'm a pretty much of a big boy. But I see my mom coming up the street, and she said, "Don't you run." And I was like, oh my God, what do you do with this? So I let my mom whip me all the way back to her house. You know, people looking at me and whatnot, and I'm just thinking to myself, don't y'all say a word. You know what I'm saying? She can get away with this, you can't. But I remember getting back to her house, and she said, "Don't you come by my house no more. Don't call me. Don't send nobody. Don't write me no letters. I don't want to know anything about you until God gets done with you." She said, "I take my hand off you. He's been telling me for a while, take my hand off you. He's got you." I hurt for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay, where's my next? But right after that, I started getting arrested. I started getting arrested for everything. It didn't matter what it was. I spit on the sidewalk, they're picking me up. And it was just constant. I ended up with 40 some odd arrests.
Wow.
Between Philadelphia and Jersey alone. Do you know,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
A lot, tons.
That's a lot of time, man. I did time in Broad Meadows. I think it's called Delaware County Prison now, but we called it Broad Meadows because it was a friggin' castle with a moat, with the dogs. Survived like I guess about 3 riots in there, with the dogs coming through and you know, the hoses and the whole nine. It just, you know, but that was my life, and I was good at it. I think we have a confusion that we think sin is not good. It's not fun. It's having a ball. I had a name. I had a reputation. I was good at what I did when I hustled, or if I sold, or if I was good. People looked for me. I had respect. Why am I going to change?
Right.
Who cares if I'm homeless?
So consequences to all the fun, and obviously the progression gets to this point. Now
Homeless.
So there's got to be a point in the story where things get better and change, and we'll hear more about that from Brother Wolf right after this. Back on the road to recovery with Brother Wolf, First Love Unbroken Incorporated. That's based out of Atlantic City, right?
Right.
But, you know, your story up until this point brings us to where I guess everything starts to change, right? In a much better way.
In a better way, yes.
From consequences to, you know, positive things, your mess, I guess, has become your message now, right?
Indeed. So even after, you know, all the homelessness, all of the recidivism, going back and forth into the county as a prison, and being, you know, being really abused by the church. I want to say that, and I don't want to say it to be mean, but they didn't know how to handle me. They didn't know how to handle me. So there was an instant where God got a hold of me. You know, I met some really good men of God in Penns Grove, New Jersey. Bishop Courtney Pope and the whole crew that was down there showed me how to walk right, that it could be done and it could be fun. You know, it wasn't stoic. And so that changed my life. And I went to a place called Faith Farm. I went to Faith Farm in 95. My first touch of sobriety through Christ. And it blessed my heart. It was a 9-month program. So now I'm craving this thing, but don't have anyone else to be able to bring it to me. An artist, a musician. I like to write, I sing, and things in that area. So you've got this creative talent. You're going to church, you're trying to fit in because I'm an oddball. You know, God's gifted me, and He's made me a little different than the normal person because of what I've been through. You know, I grew up in the church environment.
No, absolutely.
So I'm a little different, and so I'm kind of looked at as a, you know, please sit down, don't do it that way. Hold on, that's not how we do things, or whatever. And God is screaming from the inside of me, going, but I want you to be you. I want you to be the wolf that I created you to be. I know your name is David, but I want you to be the wolf that I created you to be, so you can bring my message. You know, the mighty men of valor, just real quick, the mighty men of valor that I hung up with David, they're always mighty men of valor. I mean, they talks about David being in the cave, and the people who went to the cave were the dysfunctioning, the unwanted, the ones that were in debt, the ones that had been in jail. Does that sound familiar? You know what I'm saying? But when they came out, they became his mighty men. And it's a great story for me because I started looking at that, like, God, what do you want from me? I mean, I'll give you my everything, but I don't even know what my everything is.
Wow.
I mean, how do I get what you have for me, you know? So anyway, long story short, he hit me with the scripture one day, and though your sins be as scarlet, I'll make them as white as snow. Though they be like crimson, I'll make them as lamb's wool. I've heard that scripture, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 times, whatever. But it didn't hit me until God revealed it to me. He said, listen, bro, come on, reason with me, talk to me. Explain to me why you can't be good. Explain to me why you can't be clean, and I'm going to tell you that you can. And I'm going to explain how. Tell me that you've done so much dirt in your life that you'll never be okay, and I'm going to show you that I've already made you okay. I'm crying like a baby because I'm like, God, are you serious? You want me? But you don't understand, God, all the stuff that yeah. So that was a life changer. And it broke me. It made me become, I was a deacon at Holy Temple for a little while in Penns Grove, New Jersey. I had relapses, or lapses that turned into relapses because no one knew how to handle me. So anyway, fast forwarding, now we're in 2012, I go through a divorce, and I'm trying to figure out, God, okay, how is this thing gonna go from here? And he's saying to me, listen, I need you to bring other people out. Real quick, I'm gonna digress. I had an instance where I was on a relapse binge. And for those who are out here who don't think that God can reach you where you're at, in whatever situation you're in, listen to this. I'm going to cop my stuff from a dealer who I don't know, who, when he saw me for the third time, he said, bro, what's your name? I told him, yo, my name is Wolf, man. Uncle Lobo. Crazy Wolf, what? Yo, man, I heard about you. Why you out here? So I'm hurting right now. I'm hurting. I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to preach the gospel. I don't want to do anything. I just want to hide. He said, well, hurry up, man, because we need you. We need you to get us out of this, man. You can't be out here like this. Hurry up, man. Are you serious?
The dealer's telling you that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Can I hide? No. Even though you're in the depths of hell,
wow.
I will find you.
That's crazy.
Come on. So right then I said, okay, well, I need to go to a program. I need to get some help. A friend of mine takes me to Maryville. I go to Maryville, and on the charts they say you don't have anything in your system. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? So you're clean, but we're going to keep you anyway. Nothing in your system like that. So I go through this program. I come out early, and I haven't looked back. And it's funny because everything that I was doing wasn't me anyway. It was me trying to either run from God, hide from God, and not understanding God. It's one thing to be in a church or be into an organization or talk about God, but to actually know Him is a totally different thing. The relationship is different.
Trying to find God in those external things, and you can't. You can only find Him within. Right. We'll be back with Brother Wolf to talk more about that right after this. Back on the road to recovery with Brother Wolf, David, and you're talking about First Love Incorporated, First Love Unbroken Incorporated. That whole mission now is a result of everything that you've been through. And so where does it
go from here? Huh? Yeah. The start of this program was God really waking me up at night and during the day and saying, I need you to form this thing. And He would give me plans, and I would write them down. I had like, I don't know, 40 some odd pages of notes on how this was going to look and structure and so on. And I'm looking at it going, God, I have no money. I can't do this. I don't have a way to do this, man. Nobody knows me. Nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to trust me.
Right.
So I remember sitting down and I said, if you really want this to happen, and this is really from you and not just me trying to be me, you're going to have to send me somebody with money. At that time, 2 days later, a pastor that I know calls me and he says, listen, you know anybody who wants to start a drug and alcohol program?
Dude, you gotta be kidding.
Nah, seriously. I got a millionaire who wants to invest. And I'm like, yeah, me. So I end up meeting him, Anastasi. Anastasi was the gentleman's name. And believe it or not, he was an addict. He just wanted to give back. God had told him, listen, I need you to give back.
Huh.
he ended up getting saved. Fast forward, I don't want to take too much time up on that, and I don't want to put his personal business out, but he ends up getting saved after being in church all his life. As a young man, he ends up getting saved. And
see that a lot.
Yeah. And then he passes away. He passes away, but we've already started. Now the balls are rolling. I can't do anything except keep going. So from that moment on, people have just imparted into me, whether it has been by advice or design or by finances, to get things up and moving. So we don't have our facility for the program, but it is going to be a cognitive-based therapy infused with the Bible form of program. It's going to be a Christ-centered drug and alcohol program. So solution focus, evidence-based is what we're going to be dealing with. We want to make sure that we have counselors and I don't want to say social workers, but therapists that are going to be there that are ministers or that are Christians. And we don't want you don't have to be a Christian to come to the program when we're up and running, which should be within hopefully this coming year. But we want you to know when you get there what our beliefs are. We want you to know that everything that we do is going to be the core. The core is going to be the Bible. Christ doesn't want us to have him as the front or the first in our life. He wants to be the center. So we want our program to be based as the center. So we have about 20 acres in Glenville, Georgia that we've looked at. It's family property. I'm going to take and use it for this corporation to get us started. And then we're going to go from there. 30 people. We want 30 men and women to be able to come in to kick it off. There's more to the program. I can't say everything on the air of what we're going to have in as far as our techniques, but let's just say it's going to be God-centered or Christ-centered. And we're going to go from there. Long term? We're going to do short, medium, and long term. So your short term is going to be anywhere from 30 to 45 days. Because we are going to be certified, we do want to make sure that you understand that we're going to take insurance. If your insurance will not cover your 30 days, or if you need more than 30 days, we want to make sure that we have supporters, corporations, companies, businesses, individuals who say, listen, I want to bless what you're doing. We want to make sure that we have finances set aside so no one has to leave early from the program when they're not ready. We don't want to open up a can of worms and say, when your insurance ran out after 14
Happens
days,
every day.
It's time for you to go. And it happened to me. This is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it, because you go to a program, if it's a good program and you have really cognitive people there that love their work, but your insurance stops, they send you home because that's the law. They don't have a choice. But it takes 9 months to have a healthy baby.
That's a good point.
But we want to birth a new person in 14 days. It's not going to happen. So anyway, we want to go 30 to 45 days for our short term. Our medium range will be anything up to 6 months, and after that, 6 months, it'll be 9 months to a year to be able to stay on property. The medium range part of the program will be basically based on you reintegrating back with your family, bringing them to the program, having them kind of live with you, finding out where you're going to go in God. It'll be a step down from the intensity of your 30, 45 days. However, while you're there, you're going to still, your life is still going to be Christ-centered. I'm teaching you how to be able to walk that way and not just talk that way. And the long term will be, hey, man, listen, let's go get you a job. If you want to go back to school, we've got colleges like Grand Canyon University, which I'm a member of. Love them to my heart. I went back for my bachelor's degree. And for my master's, I'll be going through them as well. But they are on board with us. Anybody who wants to go back to school for something that they offer online, they'll set it up for them. So
becoming unbroken.
Yeah.
Unbroken. And first love God, through spiritual principles. And Brother Wolf, you're taking this mission now and about to change a lot of lives. And we'll hear more about this mission with Brother Wolf right after this. Back on the road to recovery, when we've been sitting down hearing the incredible story of Brother Wolf and your mission now with First Love Unbroken. And there's also a documentary coming out on your life, right?
Yes. The actual title of the documentary is Seriously God, You Want to Use Who?
Oh, that's cool.
And it talks about a lot of things that I spoke about today, but it gives more in depth on why I want to do this. It talks about the people that we want to help. We interview a lot of people off of the street. We let you see what's really going on from my life and for what God has done for me. So you can pick that up. You can give me, I'm going to give out my phone number.
Sure.
Because I like personal touches. And I'll always either answer or you leave a message and I get back to you. So my phone number is 609-428-5266. You can also reach us by email, which is 1stloveunbroken@gmail.com. Facebook, of course, everybody loves that. And that's just First Love Unbroken. And you can find me there. Or you can even, actually, if you want to personally touch me, David Godwin. Look for me with a bullhorn that says, "In God We Trust." And that's me, and you'll be able to reach me. So the DVDs will be anything from anything above $10. We'll make sure that you get one. Because we want to be able to take this money, and I'm going to infuse a portion back into the program. Glenville, Georgia is where we're going to start the facility,
Right.
Which we don't have time to even talk about that because it's huge. But it is something that the documentary is going to stretch out why we want to do it that way for the short, medium, and long term. Certified care, but being Christ-centered.
Right. Christ-centered and long-term treatment, and all the measurements across the country show you that has the best outcome.
Absolutely.
Bar none. So we're in the middle of the worst public social health crisis America's ever seen. Front page of our local paper today, a news story last night, a national news story. It's getting worse. It's going to get worse. And I think the only way we find our way through this is being solution-oriented, like you said, and getting good, strong, spiritual principle, Christ-based treatment is an option for a lot of people. So I appreciate you, Brother Wolf, for joining us today. Check out First Love Unbroken. Call David. The number has been on the screen. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Michael De Leon, and we'll see you on the next episode